Okay, I would like to use GM, if I may, a special ability. I'm not sure if I can use it because I think it's meant for. Well, maybe no, because I don't think it's just meant for combat. I would like to use understanding.
Okay.
I can observe a creature or object and learn about it through observation, and then my next interaction with that object. Let me bring up the thing. Your next interaction with that creature or object gains 1 asset.
Okay.
I'm gonna be looking at this spinny dog killer robot thing just in case it breaks loose. Give myself a little bit of an advantage.
With the in addition to RCH 13's sort of assessment of what happened, you get that information. It's just like a murder dog.
Sure. Yep.
Robotic tentacled saw blade murder dog.
Very normal.
Does it have an off switch?
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to touch it.
Are you prepared to learn this machinery?
No.
In the same sense that a 3-year-old who just discovered caffeine has an off switch.
Okay.
You pray to your deity of choice that it runs out of fuel.
Okay, so for right now, let's not touch it. I am gonna go see what's up with there's the guy who's chilling in the chair, apparently dead tired.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Hey, kind of alert. This dog probably killed that guy. Just saving the detective work here for later. The dog totally murdered someone.
They did murder at least one person.
Your detective work there, Archie. Let's take a look at this body and see if it's mutilated like the other.
Let's see if it has a key card. Let's see if it has a hand we can use. Maybe.
Can you play with the body over there? Because I'm gonna drive this thing.
Sure. I'll move.
Do you want me to move it? I can move it.
I would like to take a hold of the body and I guess move it out of the chair. But also, what state is the body in?
In a similar state to what you found the body in logistics.
Okay. So
it has the cyanosis, not as much suffocation as it is the carbon dioxide poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
Probably similar time of death to that of the person in logistics. It would take some sophisticated testing to actually get an exact time or whatever, but you would say a very similar state.
Okay, but has not been torn to shreds by the Cuisinart dog.
Has not been torn to shreds by the
shreds,
Ninja blender.
To shreds, you said.
Is it question? What kind of outfit or uniform is this body wearing? And is it similar to the ones that we found in the other crew quarters?
I would call it Captain Casual.
Okay.
Not Captain Formal, but Commander Shepard on the ship before.
Sure.
I should be going.
Yes. Big Captain energy going on here.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe we should do what we can to keep the ship from going down with the captain.
I'd recommend cutting off the arm or just letting me hold his head so that we can just drag him around in case you run into any more doors. Because I'm all out of juice on the door situation. You get what I mean?
Do we? Is it a good idea to just do we have to take heads and arms and stuff off like that? It seems messier than necessary and not very nice.
You would think from up here that we could operate the terminal unlock the doors. I don't know how this stuff works, but Kid, you said you got a lot of experience simulated. Unlock the doors.
Yeah,
Or
you don't really have to
not.
unlock the doors in those kind of simulators. You just kind of like start the ship and like fly it. So I can probably do that part, but like unlocking doors, you should just go find the key cards that get left behind that match the doors.
Is there a key
Not a
card
bad
on the
idea.
captain's body?
Yeah, you are able to find something that's similar to like an identification, because you are pretty confident that this is the captain. Their clearance is going to work for every door. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the remaining locked doors off the map. They're still closed, but you have access to them whenever you want to open them.
We know one of the rooms was
Okay,
full of
the guy who's-
cockroaches.
Well, yeah. Well, we should probably go check the rest of the ship and see if we can find at least the other. There's at least 2 more bodies around here somewhere, probably.
Or 2 more murderers.
Yeah, that's possible too.
Hey, can this ship like scan itself for like biosigns? See if there's any other living creatures on board. I don't know how that stuff works.
Is there an index somewhere, like one of those big signs, like at the mall, that shows you where all?
Well, you got a directory per se when you got aboard, so you have a map of this place. If you you can look at the screen in front of the captain. It does look like it was tracking life signs of 2 individuals. One is a call sign Calliope. The other is call sign Raquel.
Okay.
They are both showing flat lines right now. But it looks like those were the only 2 that were being tracked by the captain at the time of their death.
Why would they only track 2 of the people on the ship?
Probably because they were the only 2 left alive. Or maybe they were the 2 that the captain was trying to kill. Honestly, I don't know.
Those of you who came in and saw like the crew quarters here, or like the officers' quarters, saw the name Calliope associated with captain. So this is Captain Calliope.
Calliope. Sorry. Got a war here.
So we're gonna try and find. We should probably try and find Raquel then.
Well, was Raquel, if it was a woman, was it the one we found in logistics that Archie was carrying around? Is Archie still carrying around that dead body?
Yeah, I have. I've just been kind of like I attached to like a belt clip, like a janitor chain just to my side. And I'm gonna turn around and look at you guys and be like, hey, there's like a captain's terminal up here. We should be focusing on getting this ship running, because let me tell you, right in this vicinity, I can tell you that the killers have been taken care of. Right here. A la Exhibit A, and I'm gonna point.
But that thing didn't shoot the other guy who got shot.
Right, but they're not here right now, and so we got a terminal that could hopefully help us with everything on this ship. You get what I'm saying?
Listen,
yes.
I don't know how any of this works. Why don't one of you who does use the captain's terminal, figure it out, so we can get going like Mr. Robit wants us to? Astrid, I mean you. You're the only one not doing it.
Okay, fine. Okay, I don't have to touch any more dead bodies, right?
Well, probably not.
Okay, good. All right.
Next 5 minutes or so, yeah.
All right. Can I get Chekhov to like? I guess I just need moral support. I don't think Chekhov can help me with this.
What is it that you're
directly.
wanting to do?
I want to try and get into the ship system and get a current list of ship systems offline, online.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah. You have captain credentials. With the captain credentials and everything, I'm just going to call this a task difficulty 2 intellect.
Yeah. Okay.
So it would be pretty easy to pull this up with captain credentials.
Cool. Excellent. I'm a quick learner, and making it easy makes it even better. It's a 7.
Get there. Okay. So I'm going to mark some on the progress clock here because knowing is half the battle, G.I. Joe. It looks like... yeah, so it looks like the majority of the issues have to do with primary engines. That was in room 6 where Archie kind of worked a little bit on the electrical work. The secondary engine that is located off of like in secondary engineering sort of kind of works, and that's how you imagine they limped the ship. You also froze, but I think you're... I'll recap here real quick. So engines are the main problem. Primary engines are offline. Archie has been working on those. The secondary engine works, but barely. And that's how you feel they were able to limp this ship to one of the trade lanes to be able to like be discovered.
So they were trying to get help. They just didn't get help.
It was very slow. They were literally limping the ship to a trade lane so that the distress signal could try to reach out to someone is what it seems like.
Okay.
Some of the other subsystems are kind of on the fritz. A lot of that has to do with the roach issue that you've encountered earlier. And but you feel like if you're able to get the engines up and working and you're able to do some preliminary recalibration of them, that you can probably get this to a dry dock somewhere and have it worked on and probably get it in good working order.
Okay.
But your primary and then also life support. So life support, there's a few critical things that once you get those in working order, again, they're probably going to be sufficient for you to limp it to a dry dock. Put some Band-Aids on the problem so that you can limp it to dry dock and get everything, fumigated.
Yeah, where is
repaired.
Life support?
I think you can probably access that from primary and secondary engineering, as well as the captain's quarter, or not the captain's quarters, but the con. It's just not you focused on the engine, but now that you know kind of what the issues are and what you can do to work on them, that's where you are. I'll also say that you've got about half of your oxygen left. You've got about 3 hours left. If you had to, now that you have some focus on what repairs need to be done, you can start working on the ship in earnest if that's the direction you want to go.
Okay, so
I have an idea.
Okay.
What if, so we have a roach problem, right? If this terminal has a control access to the doors, we can close off one of the doors, probably at the end of that 7 area. We can close off one of the doors, open up the rest of the doors on that whole giant right side of the ship, and then open up that front door to the vacuum of space. Then pretty much anything that needs it'll just suck everything out, like we already don't have the oxygen. It could just like suck all of the things out, and then we're scot free. We don't have
What if
anything on that side.
What if it sucks out like
Something we need.
wires and
Yeah,
shit?
there might be stuff we need. If it gets sucked out, we're not getting it back. I distracted the roaches for now. We can deal with pest control later. I think order of operations is getting life support and then getting the engines online before we get any company from,
I also think maybe we should take care of like the giant hole that the buzzsaws have cut into this cockpit at some point.
think
Just
that would
thought.
There's one last thing. While I'm already starting to go into life life signs and like oxygen levels and CO2 scrubbers and everything, trying to get everything up and running so that it's so that we don't die. I would also, while I'm doing that, is there a log is what happened to the system control in the past was tampered with, or what was actually done?
So you're interested in sort of the diagnostic log, like seeing
the log.
what shut down when?
Yeah, and it makes sense because I want to see what was done, so I can make sure I do it.
Yep. Let me see what I can give you there. You see that, we'll say a couple of weeks ago, there is a significant power draw from the crew quarters that is kind of synonymous with some heavy duty medical equipment. So you see that happens. After this happens, over the course of another couple of days, you start to see different errors on systems, some on life support, some in lighting, some in engines. They just kind of progressively, smaller problems start to snowball into bigger problems.
Oh,
so you see that shortly after that, that onboard defenses are enabled by the captain.
Okay.
You start to see critical issues with oxygen and carbon dioxide levels as a result of the CO2 scrubbers not functioning. The oxygen usage doesn't decrease linearly. So it's almost as though there are fewer people needing oxygen as things go along. It does look like communications are down, then up, then down, then up, then down, then up. Of all of the systems, it's the one that's probably getting the most attention.
Okay.
You do see at one point there is one room that life support is manually disabled in at the end of this. It's this room 9A. At some point, there's like a caution that like the room's been sealed and life support's been shut off for that individual room.
Okay.
You eventually see at some point the carbon dioxide reaching critical levels, oxygen use levels off, carbon dioxide use levels off, and that's just kind of the situation there. So that's the log there.
So the crippled systems caught up when there was nobody breathing out carbon dioxide or taking up oxygen anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
they kind of fixed it, and then it kind of it kind of righted itself a little bit when everybody was already dead. Cool.
Sort of, yeah.
So
takeaway.
So what is it gonna take? What is it gonna take to get you all to fly this ship? Because if it's hunt down a bunch of murderers, let's just go do that. If that's what it's gonna take, we'll go hunt down all the murderers and we'll kill them. I'll just fling them out the airlock. That seems like that works for murderous dogs. So why not murderous people? We can just fling them out of airlocks. You know.
I know. According to this, I don't know where. I still don't know what happened with that bullet hole, but it looks like they just messed themselves up. It looks like this is just like they not really good at staying alive in space, apparently.
So you mean no murderers?
Well, I can't rule it out yet because we haven't found the gun yet, and we're still missing one person, maybe. I don't think
you're missing two people.
We're missing two people. Well, and the dog doesn't have a gun for a face, so the dog didn't shoot anybody. So
there's two of the cargo bays we haven't looked in yet.
Okay, so
I did shoot the dog in the face.
So I'm going to get. I'll get the systems up and running here. Life support is going to be up and running as good as I can get it, and then I'll get the engines warmed up and going, and then we can get out of here. You guys, just to be safe, you might want to check the other rooms to see if you could figure out where the rest of the crew is.
All right.
You know, I hate to say it, but I want to agree with Archie here. Maybe we should just seal up the other half of the ship, open the cargo bay to the outside, blow it all out.
This is kind of on Mr. Dyson maneuver. In robot lingo, we call this a Dyson remover. Actually, it's a great name of a crew member here, and we're just going to suck everybody out, and then we're good. We don't need anybody.
So is it called the Dyson maneuver because it's the guy who invented the vacuum or something?
Listen, that's ancient history at this point, but yes, it is indeed that.
I mean, the only reason not to do it is if we think that cargo is valuable and we might want to sell it.
Well, whatever
exotic meats.
We are not keeping exotic meats, but
I mean, it's already dead. I mean, there's no harm in selling it. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so I've got a question. When we finally get the ship, it's safe for us reasonably. It can be piloted, and we can get it to some sort of not aligned planet or like docking bay or something to get the ship repaired. How are we going to pay to have the ship repaired? We don't have anything.
That's kind of a good point as well.
Presumably there's stuff on board that you might be able to use to barter.
I'm going to sell the murder dog. I'm just going to sell the murder dog.
Honestly, I'm totally okay with that.
At this rate, if we keep making viral videos like this, my ad revenue is going to get so high that I don't think we're going to have to worry about that. Now, to be fair, Archie's the only one actually like giving me good content so far.
Kid, I could tell.
So I can't really.
I don't know whether to be insulted by that or not.
Yeah. So Cobb. Actually, I have a comment that I'd like to make to you, and I hope you take this all right. Like a couple hours ago, I posted. Oh my God! Does anybody remember the player Cobb? R.I.P. He was a great one. And people have been blowing it up and saying like, wow, rest in pieces. You know, that guy was amazing. And here you are, and not like a single family member or friend has contacted you asking why you're dead. Like people, like this was picked up by like major news, and nobody's contacted you worried about that you died.
Well, how do you know that? I've been on this stupid ship with you guys. There could be accolades and flowers coming in from all over the galaxy for me. You know, people think I'm dead. I'm not dead, and they are gonna feel like fools when I make it out of this. And
Here's your
I'm gonna be like,
Wikipedia
hey, I'm here.
page. Here's your
Okay.
Wikipedia page.
What's
They
a
did update it.
Wikipedia, kid?
All
They
right,
did
I'm gonna
update it to
stop.
your dead
I'm
here.
I'm gonna stop you here. Astrid, you wanted to check the life support and stuff.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you two options. You can do a difficulty 4 to increase the repair clock by 1, or you can do a difficulty 5 to increase the repair clock by 2. And this kind of represents like how risky, how deep you want to get into the programming, how much of this can be controlled electronically versus physically.
Okay. I have a
Could I
question
do
for
something
you.
first?
Sure, as long as
Okay.
it's not check your Wikipedia page.
No, I do feel like I want to use a special ability of anecdote to raise Astrid's confidence in this ability with her like doing the deep dive. And
You're going to tell me a war story?
I'm going to tell her a story I'm going to tell her a sports story that's going to relate to pushing beyond your limits and doing things you never thought was possible. And I want to give her this anecdote to inspire her to raise her abilities on this next bit.
Okay.
Well,
does that give
hear
her an
the anecdote
asset
then.
or?
Let's see. As long as she pays attention to my story, I guess it's very specific.
She'll pay attention. I mean, you've got high charisma, so.
Let's see. Lift the spirits of the group, help them bond, we entertain them with an uplifting anecdote. For the next hour, those who pay attention to your story are trained in a task you chose that's related to the anecdote, as long as it's not an attack or defense action.
So basically, tenacity.
Yeah. You can do it. I believe
you're trained in tenacity for the next hour.
Trained in tenacity. Can I also use my first Cypher, which is the additional effort enhance?
Heck yes.
So yeah, it's basically it's spiritual Adderall. I'm going to really concentrate on getting this done because this is going to keep us alive.
Are you going with the easier one or the harder one?
I'm going with the harder one.
Okay, so this should drop it to a difficulty 3, which you'll need a 9 or better.
Okay. Okay.
Experience point.
Okay. All right. Yep. Experience point. Letting it go. Am I doing it
just
again?
Reroll.
Yeah,
Reroll.
roll again.
We need this. We need this because life is important. Life finds a way.
It needs to find a way.
Hey!
All right.
Found a
Natural
very
20.
good way.
Cobb taking all the credit for this.
Hey, Cobb, that was pretty good. Why didn't you ever become a coach after you were done playing sports?
Because
would have been pretty good at it.
Teaching is for those who can't do it.
Well, you couldn't do it anymore, so I'm sorry. Didn't mean that.
So,
that was rude.
Can't believe I wasted that good story on you.
Yeah.
Because you got the 20 on that, I'm actually going to bump it up to the 3 spots. So
yes,
you are able to find, I'm going to say a backup life support. And maybe this was something that a previous owner had built in that these owners weren't aware of, or maybe, 2 or 3 owners past, just some sort of a backup feature that just didn't make it into the owner's manual and just got lost to the annals of time. So you've got a backup life support system that is beginning to scrub carbon dioxide. It's beginning to produce oxygen. It's going to take a while, probably at the limits of what the oxygen you have in your suit will provide before you get something that's not going to feel like you're on Everest.
Okay. I will share this with the guys, and I will say, but it's looking good. It looks like we're not going to die as long as you guys don't set anything on fire or poke any holes in the ship.
Yeah, fires might be a little bit easier, but
Cub's just gonna look at the.
I really don't
the
like the way you said
flailing
that.
murder razor dog. Yeah, holes in the ship.
Yeah, no more holes in the ship, no fires. But we should be okay anywhere on the ship before we run out of air. And I guess we can start working on the engines. But it still remains to be seen. Should we check the other cargo holds to see if there's anything in there that we need to blow into the icy vacuum of space or hold on to so we can trade it at some point? I'm going to leave it up to you guys.
So from the manifest that room 1 had mechanical parts, and now that you've seen one, it looks like there might be another one of those crazers, but has taken some damage. It is not in pristine shape like the one that you found in captain's quarters.
Okay.
So there's another robot.
So it was the robots and not the stanky meat that may have caused the problem.
Well, room number 2 is probably where the stanky meat is, and the closer you look at the videos, you can almost see like the skittering of roaches.
Okay.
Vacuum alert. Vacuum alert.
So I will say that the rooms 1 and 2 would likely have encounters. Okay. Those would be time consuming, and they may or may not assist with the repairs of the ship. I will say that you have probably sufficient information to get a good idea of what happened to the crew members of the ship. There's still 2 bodies you need to find. You did not see those on videotape, though.
Okay. Am I reasonably sure that the 2 missing crew members are, at this point, likely bodies and not living people, like hold up someplace? Because I really don't want to eject a living person into the icy confines of space.
There are, you haven't fully explored the officer quarters or the officer wing yet?
Where they turned off the life support on purpose.
I vote eject icy humans and save our butts.
All right, I'm going to agree with you. Whatever it is, it can't be dying over. But we still need to see what's in room 9 or 9A, the room that had the life support cut off.
Okay.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we just close the bulkhead to this section of the ship? We don't have to eject anything on the other section of the ship unless we run into problems.
Didn't you guys break 2 of those doors?
Not one of them. Not one of them. The one at the very beginning. We didn't break that. If you look on the map here, we broke the one to the left of 7.
I forgot about that.
But we didn't break the one to the right.
That one. Okay.
So, I don't think we can close off the ship. I think
we can, because I didn't break that one.
Yeah.
We only did break one of them.
If this bulkhead's closed and this bulkhead's closed, you're contained. In the interest of time, I'm going to hit room 9 here just so you can see what's happening.
Okay.
Officers' quarters. This short corridor houses the ship's officers' quarters. 2 doors open towards the starboard. One reads Captain Calliope, while the other reads Pierce and Mig. The 3rd door opens to the bow.
Okay.
So this door is closed, but you have captain access. There is a little bit of a hiss as though the atmosphere may have been a little different in here. This spacious room contains 2 bunks, a small dining area, and a shared workspace. On one of the beds, 2 uniforms lie as though entangled in an embrace.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 2 uniforms? Like, are there people in the uniform?
Or like folks that were like in uniform, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think I may have changed my verbiage at some point, but yeah, there's 2 bodies. If you can imagine I'm going to use the term spooning, but I want it to be the least romantic thing that you can think of. More just like it's not sexual, okay? It's not sexual.
It's like the
Huddled.
old people dying on the Titanic as it sank in the movie.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
there you go.
like
Okay.
that. If you examine the bodies, one of them has Big Spoon has telltale signs of suffocation.
Mhm.
Little Spoon,
To shreds, you say?
no, not to shreds. Their face, their throat, their eyes, everything looks swollen, almost as though they've had an allergic reaction.
Huh.
Exotic meats.
Exotic meats.
Get you every time.
So that said, you have discovered all 7 bodies on this ship.
Okay. So yeah. I'm gonna say I like the idea. Looking at this now, knowing that we don't have any possible living humans who might accidentally be killed in the process, I say we pull a Ripley and nuke it from orbit, or in this case, drop everything into the vacuum of space as soon as we have the ability to book it out of here. Which the
All right.
engines are still offline, so we can't really do that.
No,
yet.
the engines are online. I fixed them.
You did.
Yeah.
But do we have enough power to like get away from the cowboys?
Yeah, it
I
would
have an
probably
idea.
help if you did some addition. So basically, the repair clock is at 5, and you need it to be at 8.
Okay.
If we want to abstract this, now there's some more work you could do on the engines. There can be some calibration that you do on the engines, but some other repairs need to be done, and this could be nebulous or whatever. But you know, you've worked a little bit on engines, and you've definitely got the life support sort of sorted out.
Engine 8's right there, and that one was just limping along, so we could work on that one very safely.
I think the most important thing, if we're going to fly this ship out of here, if we're going to, fuck off to wherever we need to go, is getting a cover story or some sort of distraction so we're not hunted down by the Freestar Collective.
Okay. I hate to say it. Probably one of the best ways to distract them would be to dump a bunch of illicit goods and dead bodies into space.
I was going to say the same thing.
That's scary.
I was just gonna say we tell them we're all contaminated and we have to, like disengage, and they let us float out into space. Then we take off and escape.
We can.
I mean,
well,
I guess they
somebody
could
can
maybe
make
then
up-
try to destroy the ship. So
How are you?
We could tell them that the robot took us hostage.
I tell you,
How
that's what
are
I'm going to tell them anyway later. I mean,
How's your acting skills?
I'll ignore that. We should get on the
clearly you
comms.
didn't see my motion picture. Touchdown in the outfield.
Wait, you were in a motion.
It's a very good.
Wait, I
very
remember
good
that.
film.
You were playing yourself as a teenager, though. It was weird. You're like,
Well,
you're
yeah,
like
I was 35, but no one else
But-
could play me.
it-
Only a
dude.
legend can play a legend, young lady.
dude.
Wow.
It was
12% score.
I mean, I
That's
don't know.
Oh, that's
impressive.
the critic score.
I scored
Oh,
more than 12%.
oh, that's yeah. No, the critic.
The
critic
audience
Wow.
score was better. The audience score was better.
Actually, it was, but also that wow, I have never seen a comment section that toxic. I'm kind of impressed. What did you do in that movie? I don't even remember it.
Well, it's just kind of my. It was, it was like my life story, but not my life story. So, as a young
Wasn't there
scrappy kid
like an
from-
elephant and a camel?
I mean, those are the rules. Yeah, of course there were.
Okay, we can revisit this later. I
It
think
was
we
a
should probably
touching
go.
love story.
We should between the camel and the elephant, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Rotten Tomato score withstanding.
We should get
you
get on the comms.
You have talked so much that you have burned oxygen.
Oh no. Okay. We need to
should
repair
get
stuff.
on the comms. Get on the comms.
Okay.
Call the other ship. Say that
And-
there is number 1, a contamination. Number 2, there are murder dogs. And number 3, the ship engines are going nuclear and that we don't know what to do. Like, it's just like it's going to happen. And we can fake that we're about to explode. They're umbilically attached to us. These fucking humans aren't going to want to be umbilically attached to a nuclear explosion and an infestation and murder dogs.
Should I not be streaming this part where we're trying to figure out what lie to tell them?
Oh my god.
Just put a come back later screen or 5-minute pee break, whatever you do.
Okay. I'll just pause the live.
Wait, guys. That's all right. How realistic is your YouTube channel? I mean, we can make it look like we're about to die horribly on your live stream and then send a link for the live stream over to the ship and freak them out so bad that they actually just take off.
Everybody already thinks Cobb is dead.
Oh.
We'll call it a difficulty 4. Okay. So you're basically, what you're basically doing is you're trying to create like a live stream snuff film.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like,
It's a prank, bro.
Found footage, Blair Witch.
Oh, yes.
And the thing is, though, like, I'm calling it difficulty 4 because filmmakers do it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's
not
really
that
easy
hard.
with like the special effects on it. So I'm going to call it a difficulty 4. And what you can do is with your live stream, you can make it seem as though
the idea. Okay, hold on. I have these AR glasses that I can stream from. Let's put those on your little spy drone, make it act like it's investigating like the fucking crime scenes and shit. And then that's when we blow the fucking airlocks, put all that shit out to space, explode the spy drone, which will cut the live stream immediately. They'll see the fucking explosion, be like, oh shit, we gotta get the fuck away from that thing, and then we take off.
I hate the idea of if we blow it up, won't it blow us? It'll blow us up too, though, won't it?
No, it's
Tom's
pumped
gonna walk right up
out
to
the airlock.
Archie
Oh,
and say,
okay.
I know exactly what you were trying to do and why you wanted to blow out the airlocks.
Okay.
I'm on to you, robot. He put his little killer predator drone back there in the part of the ship when we blow out the airlock so he could use that little predator bomb drone to blow up those space cowboys so we can fly free.
Yeah, what do you think I'm trying to fucking do this whole time? I don't care about murders. I don't care about what happened in the crew. I'm trying to kill some fucking humans and go the fuck home. This has been the whole MO of the story. You guys, I mean, if there's any detective work, maybe you figured that out. But that's all I'm trying to do.
My God.
Are we live streaming a murder? Or are we live streaming a like that part in Aliens where, game over, man, game over?
Well, the live stream will cut out during the explosion.
Okay.
Right.
But we're talking about the production. I'll say the production of this is going to be difficulty 4.
All right, you guys work on that. I'm going to start fixing the engine.
All right, we're not killing the space cowboys. We're going to make it look like we're dead. That's what we'll do.
So here's what's going to happen.
Mr. Robot, we're all on board with that plan. Right,
so there's two things that need to happen is what it sounds like. Well, first of all is you need to do some other rudimentary repairs to the ship because it's going to be challenging to outrun the Freestar Collective. That's where part 2 comes into play, because if you create this plausible scenario where this ship is in bad shape and that you all are dead, they're not going to chase after you. So you do not need to have this ship at 100%. It just needs to be good enough for you to get to like some type of port.
Everything is irradiated. The only one who's the survivor before the explosion can be our robot friend. That they won't have any reason to chase just a robot on an irradiated ship full of dead bodies and tainted meat, right?
How do you feel about this special ability, oratory?
Yes. So imagine the crowd. Your followers are the intelligent creatures,
Yes.
and that you are convincing them to take a reasonable action.
Yes.
And I know
Very.
the reasonable action that comes to mind every time I watch a YouTube video. It's those 3 words: like, comment, subscribe, maybe even share, you know? So you
Share,
so
like,
you
comment,
hit him
subscribe.
so
Yeah.
you hit him with that call to action so that you increase the chances that somebody on the Spartacus sees this video.
Yes.
Oh, I got an
Okay.
idea. Make sure you put the hashtag for the Freestar Collective and Spartacus in there. That'll get their attention because they monitor that stuff.
So
Do
if
we
we say
just-
this is difficulty 4, if you use this, this is going to increase your reach. So I'm going to give you an asset for that. That's going to make this difficulty 3. If anybody has any type of like acting skill or something,
I have a
clearly
book on.
Cobb
I have a
does.
book on human etiquette.
Because Cobb does have public speaking.
Never read it.
Does 13 hit it?
13 hits it.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Easy.
So
Reroll everything for free. Broken skill.
So you have created you've created the scenario where all this stuff has happened, right? You've shot this video. Bad stuff has happened. It's so crazy. You're showing dead bodies. You don't linger on them long enough to even be able to recognize if it's you or them, whatever. But you've set up this show that these bad things have happened, and you can almost hear the umbilical detach from your ship.
Murder bot, broken door. Don't worry about the roaches.
This is my masterpiece.
So
This is my
the
found
umbilical
footage masterpiece.
detaches, and you can kind of feel your ship creak a little bit as the engine wash of the Spartacus pushes itself away from the eternal beneficence. So good news, you have you faked your own murder from the Freestar Collective.
Cool.
The bad
Easy.
news is that you are now officially stranded on a ship that really needs some of the last finishing touches put together, and you only have 2 hours of oxygen left.
So I thought the oxygen's kind of fixed, but we still need to.
Yeah,
that?
it will be, but you're
You're
going to
not there
feel
yet.
much better if the ship's completely repaired.
Okay.
Also, there is still a hole.
That
in the
is true too.
cockpit.
Okay.
So
So
I
you
feel
guys
like the
deal with.
oxygen is not going to fix.
Astrid is going to say, you guys deal with the movie making in the hole. I'll start working on the repairs because I still have that nice little buff. So
Yeah,
I'm
so
going to-
any number of things here. If you're able to figure out the Crazer windshield situation and seal that up, that's a potential fix. It'll be a long trip home, but you'll have oxygen. Alternatively, you can get those engines running and you'll be able to get to your destination quicker. And even though your CO2 scrubbers are going to be fighting against the vacuum, you should probably be able to get there, even though it's going to feel like Everest inside the ship pretty much.
What did you guys do with the door that you pulled off the hinges?
It's just like stuck up there. But I have an idea. I think I can fix the dog.
Okay,
I think I can neuter him.
got it.
So I'm gonna try to weld and just seal this dog off. So like the dog will be a part of the ship, but effectively
Part
it's
of the
just
ship, part of the
sealed
crew.
part of the
Awesome.
ship, part of the crew.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do this with
Messed
a few
up, but
things.
okay.
You can figure out a difficulty. I'm gonna kind of tell you my idea.
So we are trying to weld around. I'm going to call this challenging because even trained people often fail. So I'm thinking
Sure.
a trained welder is going to look at this and be like, I mean, I'll try.
Wait, so it's
so
still
yeah,
like flailing around?
Maybe try using the door instead of the dog.
I mean, I'm gonna do the dog. I'm committed to the dog.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I'm
I'm
going
less
to do
worried
the
about
dog.
the robot getting injured.
I'm actually going to use all of a duct tape roll, which is in my equipment, to kind of like seal it
Okay.
all into place.
Duct tape.
Um,
You know what? I have
some-
extra duct tape too.
Some Flex Seal. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Do you think that would bump it down one?
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
If
And
if nothing else, it'll help contain the different tendrils, keep them out of the way. So yeah, I'll bump it down to 4.
Yeah, and then I'm going to now use a special ability that costs 2 of my intellect called Machine Interface, and I'm going to kind of calm the dog down.
Okay.
Excuse me. I can wait. Never mind. I can discern the level, function, and activation of technological devices that you touch. That's not going to help me, I don't think. So scratch that. I'm going to just use a repair skill. I'm trained in repair. See if that'll bump it down 1.
So
Is
that'll
there
drop you
any-
down to 3.
Assistance I can give from the understanding action that I did earlier, like kind of understand like the movements of the crazer.
Oh, because you he's already using a repair skill.
Okay.
So, and I think we determined that you were giving the tenacity skill as trained.
Mhm.
So those won't stack. So really the only way you can get skills to stack is if you're specialized. That would like ease it by 2 difficulty levels. So you're at a 3, so you need a 9 or better at the moment.
There we go.
That
16.
So it is tentative. It probably, I'm going to mark another hour here. It is touch and go. It is tentative, but you end up being able to get all these different like holes and stuff sort of plugged and welded together and utilizing parts of this dog. And I mean, it'll work until you get to port.
This reminds me of the robot in Borderlands 3 that just is like stuck right in the windshield of the spaceship.
So
I'm just looking forward to walking past this wall in the future and having like the tail just wag.
So you have now gotten the Eternal Beneficence to a point where you can limp it to the next port. Certainly, you won't be able to do any immediate adventuring with it, but you can get it to the next port, maybe sell it off and go separate ways, or try to get it repaired and maybe go adventuring together if you're into that type of thing. I'm not sure about this particular group. But the Freestar Collective has pretty much consigned you as dead while in their custody.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much you no longer have like a record with the Freestar Collective. Now that might change if they catch you again, but they're not actively looking for you. So you get the engines working. After a few more hours, the oxygen kind of situates and you are able to safely remove your helmets and your own personal life support on your suits. That said, the ship still has a few issues in the form of 7 dead bodies, some roaches, and a murder robot locked in one of the cargo bays, but that might be a problem for a different day. But for now, the party has acquired the Eternal Beneficence in whatever state you want to call it in right now, and are free to roam this wild, wonderful galaxy. And that has been Starfield Cypher Rad Rolls Edition.
Yay!
Yay.